I'm GM Hikaru Nakamura, number 1 US chess player and top 10 in the world. Ask me anything. Hello there, very nice to see you doing an Ask Me Anything. I've been wondering if there are times or any major time in your life that you've found chess to be boring? Also, if that has happened, what have you done to change this, or have you changed yourself so that you understand its work and do it despite it being boring to you? Thanks again, smiley face. Good afternoon, Liquid Shed HSC2. I have tried to avoid being too philosophical, but I think in general, everything becomes boring after a while. Nothing is as fun as it was when you first started playing. The key is to stay motivated and just continue trying to learn more. On chess.com, there is a mysterious GM Phoenix who has a very high rating, with much speculation as to his identity. The main guess was that it was you. When you officially showed up on chess.com, Phoenix stopped showing up, furthering that speculation. Were you GM Phoenix? I will take the fifth and your question about GM Phoenix. Smiley face. Hey Naka, I'm a huge fan. Thank you so much for doing this. 1. I've always wondered, does a GM have to have a bajillion games mostly memorized? How big a part of your study is analyzing the games of others? Do you spend time analyzing the games of people worse than you or only of other super GMs? 2. In a game of high-level chess, does aesthetic count more than a computer good position sometimes? Like, would you rather have a slightly worse position but one that more suits your style than your opponent's? 3. How much does it actually matter which opening a player chooses? 4. Various databases that I've seen show that d4 is a more successful opening than e4, but e4 is more popular. Why is this? 5. Are there still aspects of chess that humans do better at than computers? 6. How incredible does a computer have to be to beat the best humans? Could my MacBook or cell phone do it? If a computer disagrees with you, do you always think that the computer must be right? 7. Why do master players online play so much blitz? Why not lengthy games? 8. How do you think Fischer would do against top players like yourself, Carlsen, or Kasparov? How would Morphy do? 9. What's your top goal in chess? Do you think you'll achieve it? 10. Who are your favorite players throughout history and who do you think are the best players? Thanks again. Good luck in chess. 1. I for one do not have a quadrillion games memorized. Mainly, it is more a matter of ideas, concepts combined with an understand of piece play and then of course tactics. But, because all professionals have studied and played chess for so many years, it is just inherently a part of our understanding. 2. In this day and age, everyone is so good that being even slightly worse is too much. I will always take equality. 3. Openings matter only in so much as you are not worse or losing out of the opening. 4. 1. E4 is certainly not more popular at the top levels of chess today. I think in general because many of the great champions, Fischer and Kasparov specifically, opened with 1. E4, it remains very popular at the amateur level. 5. The only two aspects of chess which humans are better at are blocked positions where only one side has a break due to the long-term concept and ideas which are beyond a computer horizon, and secondly, pure attacks like in the King's Indian. 6. I am not sure if a computer on a cell phone could beat the top humans, but any laptop would be more than sufficient to trounce us pitiful humans into oblivion. 7. I think in general, when you play chess on the internet it's not serious competition, so the goal is to have a good time. Secondly, if I tried playing long games on the internet, I'd have trouble being motivated or keeping up the intensity. 8. Fischer would almost certainly lose to all of us, but this is due to the fact that the game has so fundamentally changed. If Fischer had a few years to use computers, I think he would probably be on the same level. 9. I certainly hope to become world champion, but it is a long process and I simply need to play good chess for now. 10. My favorite players are Kasparov, Fischer and Tal. Mainly because they were more tactical and aggressive, which is how I tend to play. Cheers. Hey Hikaru. We played in round 3 of the 1997 Super Nationals chess tournament in Knoxville. We were both 2-0 and played on the podium while your dad took pictures from below. You were white and played the scotch. You had this intimidating strategy of standing behind me while I was pondering my next move. I still wonder, were you just trying to see the board from a different perspective, or intentionally trying to psych me out? Smiley face. I highly doubt that I could have come up with such a strategy at 9. Smiley face. I wish I could remember, but asking me to remember a game from 17 years ago is too much. Who do you support for FIDE president? I do not particularly support one side over the other, as both candidates have serious flaws. However, one must look at what the incumbent has done over the past 20 years. It does not seem as though chess has fundamentally moved forward in a new direction. At the same time, it remains to be seen whether the opposition leader will be able to bring in money and sponsors, which he speaks of in his campaign. When you visualize a chess position, such as during a blindfold game, or when going over a score without a board present, what do you see? Do you see a full board in pieces, just like you were actually looking at a real board, or do you have some kind of abstract representation in your mind, such as a list of pieces and key squares and their attack-defense relationships? If you see a board, is it a 3D board, or is it like a diagram from a book? If a 3D board, is it some particular set you like, or something generic? Hello Harlow_monkeys. When I play one blindfold game or any amount, I have done 15 on 2 separate occasions, I essentially see the whole board, but I very rarely calculate deep lines beyond 2 to 3 moves. In tournaments such as the Amber Blindfold and Rapid, where it is one game against another top-level play, I very often will calculate 2 to 3 lines of about 5 to 6 moves. I wish I could say that I am some sort of mathematical genius and I see a bunch of right triangles or some Picasso-style art lines, but that would be going too far. When I see the board, it is usually the blue board from the chess program ChessBase with the white and black pieces. I suspect that for most modern-day players, blindfold chess is a lot easier because of the endless hours we have all spent studying chess on computer screens. Do you think there will ever be a time in the future when Chess 960 is a serious competitive chess format? Do you feel it does a good job of shaking up the theory-heavy metagame for more casual observers? Great question, Apetresk. I think Chess 960 is great as it is simply pure intuition and understanding without theory or computers. In my opinion, a lot depends on the trends. For example, at the moment everyone is playing the Berlin defense, which has severely reduced the number of games with 1e4. If this trend of attempting to kill the excitement continues, it is hard to believe 960 won't take over at some point. However, if we start seeing a lot of deep preparation and exciting games in the Najdorf or Dragon, then I think the scope of normal chess will continue for a very long time. You are considered one of the best blitz players in the world, if not the best. You should comment some of your games and post them to YouTube, a la Kingcrusher, Chess Explained, Curtains. I would pay to see that. What do you think? To start, I have actually seen a few of Kingcrusher's videos on YouTube and they are pretty good. At the moment, I am the #1 rated blitz player in the world, so I am certainly competitive. However, I do believe that because of my focus on becoming a better classical player over the last few years, I have gotten worse at blitz. Favorite unorthodox opening? I would have to say that my favorite unorthodox opening has to be 1b3. If it was good enough for Bent Larsen, then surely it is good enough for me. How often does the average top 10 chess player get laid? We aren't rock stars. D. What's going on in your head when you realize during the game that you are winning? Thank you for the question, Colorado Sheriff. In general, I try not to think too much about outside factors during the game except for the position on the board. However, it does get difficult not to start wandering off and thinking about the future during especially critical games. Nevertheless, as with any other game or sport, focus is the key. Hello Hikaru. Big fan here. In a time where the majority of elite players choose safe and dry positions, I really appreciate your aggressive and entertaining style, constantly going for complications. Is it easy for you to switch off from chess completely, or do you pretty much think about or calculate positions in your head all the time? Thanks for the compliment, Weasel. My general philosophy is that we are all going to die, so might as well try to create some interesting games which will be remembered 50 to 100 years from now. Unless I am thinking about chess, I find it quite easy to not think about it. For example, after my recent tournament in Zurich, I did not have a single though about chess during my 2 weeks of vacation. Hey, I was wondering how big of a role computers play in your chess life. How much and in what ways do you use them when studying chess? Do you ever play against them as practice? What do you think we can learn from computer chess and what can't we? Hello Jack, your question is very pertinent not only to my chess career but the very future of chess as well. I would say that nowadays, when I study, computers comprise 90% overall. I do not play against computers anymore because it is severely depressing to lose every game without ever even having a chance. I think mainly what can be learned from computers is a deeper understanding that almost all positions are okay with accurate play. In the past, many people assumed certain positions were automatically bad, but computers have shown that the rules and thought processes aren't always accurate. Is chess still fun, or does it just feel like a job now? Chess is certainly still enjoyable, but it has taken on a more serious role as it is my full-time career. It will always be fun, but it will never be the same as when I was December 13th, 14 years old and just playing the game without any worries in the world. What is the most common mistake new chess players make when trying to learn the game? What's a better way to get started on the path to improvement? I think the most common mistake new chess players make is that they are too impatient and want to know everything right away. Everything is a process and you need to not rush. Beyond that, I think just playing as much as you can, studying tactics and essentially trying to take in as much chess as you can, especially if you are young. Hi Mr. Nakamura, you are widely regarded as a tactical genius and I was wondering how you developed this great skill. I'm rated around 1500, but whenever I go to do tactics puzzles, I always feel like I'm not learning anything from them, such as key motifs or patterns. Can you perhaps recommend any good books for tactics? Also, I was wondering what your goals for this year were. I assume overall you want to make the next candidates tournament, but perhaps you also have a target rating you hope to attain. Thanks. When I was younger, I developed these tactical skills mainly through hours and hours of Blitz and Bullet on the Internet Chess Club. Nowadays, I stay sharp using the tactics trainer on chess.com. Are you good at other strategy games, such as Risk or strategy computer games? Does chess translate to other types of strategy like that? The only other board game which I am pretty decent at besides chess is backgammon. As for computer games, I cannot really comment as I was pretty terrible at StarCraft. Will the sunglasses strategy ever return? I would love to wear sunglasses more often, but unfortunately due to concerns, unfortunately justified in this day and age, about cheating, I doubt I will be doing it very often. Have you ever thought about producing any content for the community, perhaps live commentating some games on the ICC? I have considered doing content, and I will be doing some commentary on chess.com shortly. I have been wondering about your Japanese heritage. How often do you visit and can you speak Japanese? I was born in Osaka, Japan to a Japanese father and an American mother. However, my parents separated and I moved back to the US when I was 2 years old. After that, I grew up with only English. I did take some Japanese lessons when I was about 10, and also took Japanese 101 during my 1 semester at Dickinson College. However, at this point my Japanese is pretty mediocre and I wouldn't say I know more than 20 words. Sadly, it's probably my 4th best language, sad face. I went back to Japan about once every 3 years growing up until I was 18. While I saw my Japan dad, I never had the opportunity to meet my half-siblings. Hi Hikaru. What is a typical day like for you when you're not playing in a tournament? A typical day for me when I am not playing chess varies, but I will always study a few hours a day, 2 to 3, watch some of the BBC series, whether it is Frozen Planet, Planet Earth or one of the others. I will read some. I recently finished reading Titan, The Life of John D. Rockefeller by Chernow, and study about 1 hour of Italian. However, when tournaments are happening within the next week or 2, I will be studying a lot more chess. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe and click the bell icon so you don't miss more awesome videos.